Frack, over the Frack The Canon. I'm joined by CJ McCree from Milwaukee. What is up, good sir?
What is up, good sir?
So this is your idea of topic about streaming services and changing content. What brought up the idea for this episode, for this topic?
Well, because watching Disney Plus and Disney Plus, they've been going through a few changes recently, right? Like they added like the new R content sort of tier, so you can kind of watch more mature shows or movies on there. But then like little by little, like we started to kind of hear like different things. Like they've sort of been editing show series and shows after the fact. People kind of like say, oh, they changed a bit in Daredevil. They changed a bit in, was it Loki? No, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, they changed like a scene. They changed well, didn't are they about to change what Jessica Jones' title or something like that?
You changed it to AKA Jessica Jones. I'm like, okay, that's a comic title, but what?
Right. And it's like, what is the significance of that? Like maybe it's like that one admittedly bothers me the least, right? But at the same time, it does still change something about the original show, right? Like, right. So it just started to get me to think, right? Before this is not. These are a few changes so far, but this hasn't been rampantly spread. And this is also not the first time in history that other companies that get access to someone else's property have dived in and changed. Like if you think of like, I don't know, in the 80s and 90s, putting movies on television, how they had to doctor them and whatever for like editing for all audiences, but also like for time purposes to fit in a certain time slot to get this on TV. It kind of like reminds me of that, you know what I mean? But just the idea of here's this artistic property, right? That all these people were involved in and all these people made and created, and it's presented in a way that everybody had agreed upon, like this should be presented and made. Boom, it's a movie. Boom, it's a series. Boom, this is what it is. And now, however many years later that this is out, someone else can come along, change what that is, and then present it as this is how it was made. This is how it is intended to view. I guess my first question would be like, is that okay? Like, is that okay? I guess let me focus that question. Is there anything inherently wrong with that?
Well, I mean, tell me for the president. Like, I mean, George Lucas did it with Star Wars. Like, how much changes? I'm gonna add this. So, like, it's been done before. So, I mean, if it's the creator, if it's the writer, whoever created the content, listen to me, whoever created that art, I'm like, okay, that counts because it's their. I want to update it. Blah blah blah. So, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But if it's the company, I'm like, well, why are these changes? Like, to me, like the AKA Jessica Jones, I'm like, that is the stupidest. Like, why? Like, that is the pettiest reason. I'm like, that is why
Exactly. Like I feel like why change this? Like, why make this called AKA Jessica Jones, this thing that is already here? Like if you have interest in obviously using the character, you're Marvel, it's your character, right? Like if you have interest in using this character further, and maybe like down the line she has a new series coming out and you call that AKA Jessica Jones too, you know what I mean? Like, why change this? Now, if it like a week from now or a month from now or later this year, we hear like an announcement, AKA Jessica Jones season 4, right? I don't know. They made 3 seasons of that.
I think so. I didn't finish watching.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I watched 1 season. So. Yeah. I mean, listen, I thought that 1 season was amazing, but
yes.
Yeah, I only watched 1 season, but yeah, like so maybe that they announce later, AKA Jessica Jones season 4. But right now, it's just we have this change, right? So that's just a title, right? What about content? Like, what about changing the actual content of the piece of the work?
That's weird. I mean, I don't know, like why, like wouldn't why did they do that one? I don't understand that too. Like what? So you said that they changed. What did they change in Falcon and Winter Soldier? Because I didn't hear that one.
Like they pared down some of the violence. They pared down some of the violence, maybe to make Falcon seem like a more, what is that? I don't know, diplomatic hero or something like that. they pared out some of the violence. I do think that's weird. Yeah, like because he is a soldier, number one.
Yeah.
But no, I do get that he's also a counselor, and they play that up too. You know what I mean? Which I think is cool. But like he is a soldier. There's a certain amount of violence in these series and shows, but the fact that they released it as it was, and then went back, changed it, kind of without telling anybody. You know what I mean? Like they just changed it. And then now it's updated, and now this is just how it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what kind of going back to what you're saying about the George Lucas thing? Like, at least there are two versions of that, right? Like, you can watch the original version, like undoctored by what George Lucas like did to it. You know what I mean? Did to it.
What did you do your own work?
You can watch the original version if you prefer that, you know what I mean? Like, but this is just like kind of, well, this is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, we changed it. I don't know. Like, I guess there's a point that I like the point that you have made. If it's the original worker, if it's the original creators of the piece, you know what I mean, and they feel like this isn't up to their standards, that's one thing, right? I wanted this in the movie, I didn't get a chance to make this in the movie, so I can change this. Now I've added it. Now this is how I actually wanted you guys to see it, right? But I don't know, like taking something out, making it less one thing. I can't imagine that was the original creator's intent.
I mean, I think there's get into a little bit of politics a little bit. I guess I mean, it's been done before where things have been censored, after the fact, because of citing for violence or whatever. So I feel that's what's happening right now. They're just we're the fact that they're like, we're Disney and we're doing this. I'm like, but you have Daredevil. It's weird because like you have Daredevil, one of the bloodiest shows on there, like Mother Frack was running around with like blood like soaking out of like pouring out of his body, but then you edit this out. I'm like which we have no blood. Like why? Like, I don't understand. It's censorship for sure. They're censoring themselves. Why I think they're just like, we're Disney. We can't be doing this. Is what comes to mind. But I don't know why so late. Like why did you do it in the first place? Like why after the fact?
Why?
Like, this isn't the boys,
Exactly. Like and we're not expecting that from you guys. You know what I mean? Even you know what I mean? Like we're not expecting you guys to be. I'm not expecting to turn this on and see the boys and like. And I don't feel like I did either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier and was like, oh my gosh, dude, like, where's all the gore coming from? You know what I mean? Like, no. In fact, I could have used a little bit more of it, to be honest. But it's like, why even make this R-rated tier? Even.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if they're just gonna censor stuff anyway, you now have this tier for people who are more mature.
Right.
I guess the flip side to that is that Falcon isn't necessarily a character that they want to associate with like our ratings either, because he's straight up Captain America now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, it's. I think it's what it is too, but I just understand. Like, I didn't even notice it until they said it. I'm like, like go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, like it's not rampant right now, right? They've only done it a couple times right now, right? At least that we know.
Well, the one thing I know, the big one was that they changed Daredevil from Marvel and Netflix to Marvel and Disney. I'm like, or ABC Studios. I'm like, but that's the one thing I remember hearing people like, but you didn't do it though. Netflix did it. That's the one I'm like, yeah, you got. I mean, why would you put somebody else's company on your thing? But I'm like, there is a point to that too. I'm like, but you guys didn't produce it. Netflix produced it, or co-produced it. But I'm like, yeah.
I've been meaning to. Have you looked through the credits on those?
I did it. So I finished watching Daredevil season 3 on Disney Plus. I'm like, what? Like, where's the wasn't it usually Netflix? And then I went and I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember anything I said. Was that Netflix? But there are messages out there like, oh, it's supposed to be Netflix, not ABC Studios. But yeah, I'm like, I thought it's in Netflix somewhere, or Netflix. Oh no, it is in Netflix Presents, and then the title sequence.
Presents.
We got rid of that. Yeah.
Interesting. Cause see, I was. That's what I had never went back and did that. I was meaning to look through the credits to see like, is Netflix anywhere in here? Like, are you guys straight up presenting this as your work? Like, because it straight up is not your work. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I guess everybody in the credits gets credit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, I guess, does Netflix need the credit for something that people have done? You know what I mean? But Netflix is, they produced it,
Um, it's interesting. Maybe it's happened before. I don't remember happening before, or maybe we didn't know about it because we were kids. Like maybe it's happened in the past, and we just. I mean, we didn't read. I didn't read Variety when I was like 5, 6, 7.
Right. True.
So I'm like, go ahead.
Well, like kind of to the point that you're making right now, like it reminds me of like watching TV watching movies on TV, right? Like how they basically have to hack job the movie to fit it into like freaking, the time block and with commercials and all that. You know what I mean? Like, and then if it's too explicit for like all audience and they have to change words and like overdub certain things, you know what I mean? Like in order to get the same thing across. It kind of reminds me of that, and it's like I guess it reminds me of that in the way that it's like if I'm going to criticize Disney from doing this, like I mean, is it okay that they did that? You know what I mean? Like television that kind of does hack jobs on movies, I don't know where the line is. Like, is this wrong? I guess is kind of what we're getting around to, or what I'm trying to get around to is like, is this wrong? Like, or is it just
Business.
it's just weird. Like it's just weird.
It's a weird business for sure. Like, I mean, I don't know. I can't. I'm like, well, you're Disney. I mean, here's the thing though. Playing devil's advocate, it is their property. It is their characters, right? So we're like, here you go, here it is. So we can do it as we like. So I'm like, okay. At the end of it, so I'm thinking of it like this: they're patrons, right? They're paying people. So I'm like, all right, well, does that make sense? Kind of like, well, we're paying them to do it, so we didn't like that, so let's change it. Let's get someone else to change it. And maybe that's what they did. Like, well, now let's make it more
like
Marvel, more Disney.
The fact that it is on Disney Plus means that they must have some degree of control over it and how it is presented. You know what I mean? Like it means that this is theirs. It isn't Netflix's anymore because it's not on Netflix. You know what I mean? So this is theirs, and you're right. And some not in some respects. You are right in the fact that they can present this how they want to.
Right.
Because whether they paid money to get that back or just the rights went back to them, like they have the rights now, and they can show this however they want to.
Right.
And in respect, they could chop some of it out and then re-present it as, yeah, we did make this because we cut this one scene out. So this is ours. This is the Disney Plus version of it. You know what I mean? So
final comments, final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess, maybe it's not wrong, but it is weird and it does bother me.
Yeah, it's weird. It does bother me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's corporate. Like we love these characters, but I'm like, it's a corporation. I'm like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Like if it was like Kevin Smith, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like Leo didn't shoot first, or let me see, Dottie didn't shoot first.
He wasn't even supposed to be there.
And now he is. My thoughts are just like it's weird, but I feel like it's a corporation thing. It's not a creative thing. I'm like, why these changes? I have no idea. Maybe they're getting ready to bring back the shows. I hope they don't bring back Iron Fist. God.
Look, it'll be in their hands, though. It'll be in their hands. All right.
I guess.
I don't know. Have they? Well, that's a whole different topic. Never mind.
All right, dude. Well, thank you for joining me. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.